Hi, this is Marcy and Connie from 1033 Main Salon and Spa here in beautiful Mumford, New York. And Connie's hair is sectioned off a little strangely today because today I'm not necessarily going to show you a hairdo, but a technique. And this technique is very contemporary right now. You're seeing it a lot in editorial work in magazines and that sort of thing. And there was definitely use of this technique in Fall Fashion Week. And so now I think it's had time to start trickling down a little bit into the more mainstream. The big thing going on right now with this is texture, and this technique is called a push curl. I've gone ahead and curled Connie's hair ahead because I trust you to know how to use your curling iron. But what you do with this technique is take a curl and grab it at the bottom and push up through the curl. And this releases curl so that you get that texture that looks like it's been teased, and you can go all the way up. Now this has a few uses, and that's why I have Connie's hair sectioned off like that. You can take smaller sections and work with it that way to bring out the texture. One of the things you can use it for, of course, is like I'm doing now in a ponytail. It gives it a very edgy, contemporary look. Not necessarily crazy. It's a way of sort of mildly teasing the texture into the hair. And you can break it up in sections and work through it like that, and then kind of get that bounce in there. Another thing that's really going on right now, and where this comes in handy, is for juxtaposition of texture. So you might see someone with their hair pulled tightly back into a smooth ponytail, and then this explosion of texture on the back. And that is a lot of how it was being used in editorial work, to show a change of dimension. So whereas back in the day we all wanted volume through the top, you can use this technique now to get volume through the sides. And that is where it's great for people such as myself who have a more oblong, elongated facial shape. Because if you have a face that's longer than it is wide, and you put more volume on the top, you kind of exaggerate that proportion of length. Whereas if you have a face that is longer than wide and you keep the top smooth and put texture and volume on the sides and draw the eye horizontally, it sort of balances the height and the length in the face. So brings it into a more classic proportion. So this is one way to use the push curls. And I just want to kind of run through here and finish up this ponytail. But you can see how that's giving a nice explosion. It's giving it a frothy, airy fun and a sense of playfulness to it. And makes it look like you've got a lot of hair. So I'm just going to finish up this ponytail, and then I'm going to show you on the sides a couple of ways that you can use this push curl technique to accomplish some things in more everyday wear than maybe some of what you're seeing in the editorial work is usually an exaggeration of a technique. And you're not necessarily expected to walk around with that hairstyle, but it's a way of showing what the techniques are capable of. You could just take it and give it one good long push. It depends how much texture and how broken up you want it to be. Some of the areas where I've kind of gone in a couple times on the same curl, we get a much more broken texture. And then if you kind of want to keep the solid form of the curl, you can just go in and push on that curl from the bottom up through the strand to the top. And that holds that curl a little more. Now another thing is, Connie has very straight hair, but if you have curly hair, you absolutely could use this. And a lot of people with curly hair also have kind of a fine texture to their hair, so you might look at them and think they've got a lot of hair, but they know how fine their hair is, and it can sometimes be a sensitive subject. And I'm going to show you on the side here a way that you can use this technique, not because you want your hair to look poofy like that, but to give support underneath so that you enhance the volume in your hair. Alright, so one way you could wear this is definitely just do a ponytail, pull it all back. I pull the section back, but you could pull all your hair back, do the push curls through there, and you just get that riot of curl and bounce, and it's got a beautiful, fun look to it. But now I want to show you a technique that will let you get volume, but not necessarily wear your hair all blown out like that. You come in underneath and kind of drop this very bottom section. I'm just going to slip a clip in here for a second and break it up just to get a surface to work on underneath. And I'm going to just give it a little spritz so I can kind of smooth that out. I don't necessarily want the hair to look frizzy. I want it to still have form here. But these sections underneath, sort of sandwich between the bottom and the top of your hair, now you can put in your push curls, and especially if you bring them up. You don't necessarily need to do it at the very ends of the curls, but through the middle and where you want more body and support, definitely that's where you want the push curl. Hold it, push all the way up into the hair, and then let the ends kind of stay. You don't necessarily need to get those in all broken up. It's through the body of the hair. And smooth those out a little bit. You can also get this effect if you don't want to risk coming out frizzy like this, or if this is too much volume for you. If you ever heard of such a thing from a person with fine hair. You can also get this effect by styling your hair and coming in through this in the middle with a crimping iron, and that will give you a lot of volume too. Just crimp that section in the middle and drop the top hair over it. I want to apologize for interrupting the video, but someone came in for a haircut, and that's always got to take priority here. But back to the push curls, you just take them and push them all the way up and break out that texture, but leave the ends. And then what you can do is take the next section at the top here and just break it up a little and start blending it in together. And it gives you a lot of extra volume. And then we're going to give that a little spritz. Like I said, you definitely can do this on naturally curly hair, and you might even want to curl the curly hair a little bit if you want to get a more even formation. But this will give you a great deal of volume through the bottom and underneath, and that supports, of course, lift through the top. Now over here, I want to show you another technique, which is what's going on with that juxtaposition. I just want to get these back. Now let me put a little spritz through the top. I'm going to keep a smooth look to that. Alright, so here again, we're just going to take underneath. Whoops. Even I'm not perfect. Alright, we're going to take underneath, and again, do the push curls. Now here, when I curled on this side, I stayed away from the root area. You see the curls begin down here. Because what we're going to do is go for that sense of frothy curl through the sides, but we want to keep the top smooth. Because what's going on with volume and texture right now is the contrast between smooth sections of hair and more roughed up. You can see this gives it sort of a texture like it's been teased, but it's much easier than teasing it, and easier to comb out too. which I'll get to that in a little bit. You just push those curls up, and you want to keep it kind of down below what we would say the round of the head, where if you held the comb flat on the head, you can see where the head starts to round away from the comb. So you kind of just keep it below there. That's a very pretty finish in there. Just gonna give this some push. I've actually got a couple of curls there. And you want to keep it lower. And it brings out a nice little wave in here too. Now, as far as product on the hair, I wouldn't want to do this on hair that had something stiff on it, like a gel kind of thing. Something soft if you want to get a little support and hold, maybe more like a mousse or a lotion, just to give it some hold. But as I'm working, I also can give it a spritz, and this actually is a, oops, sorry, did I get you? This actually is a little bit of a spray gel just to give it that extra hold. Sorry about this here. Push through. But also, I don't necessarily want to get right up on top of it with the product either. And it actually gives it just a nice, soft, romantic look. And it's a very simple technique. I'm kind of slowing it down to make sure that you get an idea of how to do it. You could whip through this pretty quickly, actually. Yeah, just push, pull, and keep the volume low on the sides here. And now if I wanted all of it to be very, very frothy, I would go in and break that up and do some more. But I want it to have some form. And I love the wave we're getting up at the front. And especially up on the surface of the design, I want it to have some structure. So I'm not going in quite as much through here, although you could, and it'd be just fine. But I want to kind of keep some formation of the curls there. And just periodically, see a piece that's heavier than the other, just go in and push through that curl. If you want to give it a push up and just kind of support it while you're missing it, you also can get more expansion of the form through here. And I want to get you in the face, I'm going to just bring it all back a little bit. And I want this up through the top because I love the form we're getting here. And it gives the front a nice little finish. Go ahead and close your eyes. Alright. So, I've kind of got 3 different uses for the technique. The technical term on this, we're calling them push curls. And there are 3 different uses for them. And I want to show you also when you have teasing in the hair, which this is a very soft form of teasing. I want to show you how to take it out because I don't want you doing this and then going home at the end of the day and ripping through it with a comb or a brush. That's actually where you damage your hair. So take your sections, and you want to be patient and work section by section from the bottom. And instead of doing this with your comb, come through parallel to the hair and just gently comb through. And you can see those pieces that are teased, it slides right down the hair shaft. And this is very, very gentle. I'm not ripping and shredding at the hair at all. And wherever I find it catching, just stop and do it that way and move it through. And you see you can cause the shape to collapse right there in front of your eyes. And again, it's going to come through. So this is the way to take out your teasing, whether you're doing it with the push curl technique or if you go in with a teasing brush or comb. Same thing. You just want to gently work it through and slide it down the hair. It's not necessary to tear at your hair to comb that out. And you can use that technique too if you have a little one who tends to wake up in the morning and their hair's knotted. I know I was famous for that when I was little, much to my mother's dismay. So again, I'm going to take a little section over here that's really got a lot of teasing in it. And we're just going to start at the bottom and work our way up and comb that out. And Connie, do you feel like I'm pulling on your hair? Is it hurting you?
No.
Okay, so that's really the most gentle way to do it, is just to bring the comb parallel to your section. Slide the knots down, and then you can comb the section out and smooth it out. And I would recommend, if you do a hairstyle involving this technique or any teasing, I strongly urge you to take that teasing out before you lie down. You don't want to sleep with that all on your hair and have it catching on your pillow and all that. Also, I'm a big fan of satin pillowcases for keeping your hair smooth. So there you have it. Now you have one more technique to help you look great and feel great. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.